Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kamidogu podcast with Christopher and Christina.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, it was a blast last time and it's great to have you back. The Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay trailer has finally dropped and we've had a few hours to let the dust settle. But before we get into our discussion today, if you're tuning into our podcast for the very first time, we've been around for about 3 years now, and we recently celebrated our 50th episode with the absolute legend, Max Crawford, who voiced Shujinko and Onaga in the 3D era. So if you haven't checked out that, be sure to do so. Also, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe wherever you watch or listen to the podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like and share your thoughts with us in the comments, as we'd love to hear your thoughts. So I thought before we get started, we'll just run through the trailer, let it play through, just for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, and we'll get into it from there.
I have had enough of you.
Then go, before I put you down.
Fight!
Today, you have proven worthy of joining us. Come, there are other champions I must gather.
What do you want?
Sento. It's my family blade.
Sento's mine, and I won't give it up without a fight. Enough! Okay, let's go back to one here. Who are you again?
Lord Liu Kang, protector of Earthrealm, god of fire.
You have skills, Raiden, but you're inexperienced.
Whatever experience I lack, I make up for in heart.
If your disease becomes known, you will be banished. I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
I guess I'll have to pre-order because I want that
Yeah.
Shang Tsung.
So I guess first thoughts, what are you thinking?
It looks amazing. It's fresh, but there's a lot of really welcome callbacks to the original games. But it's clear that this is very new. So this is Liu Kang's universe, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna a lot of things we recognize, but just a lot that's different.
Yeah,
So
I think watching it the first time, it does feel a little foreign, a little strange. But I have watched it a few times, and the more I watch it, the more I like it. It's growing on me a lot.
yeah, this was the second time I watched it. I watched it at lunch, and then this was the second time. And it looks like some really great gameplay. It looks like it's going to have the X-ray attacks; those are coming back. Some incredible fatalities, of course, and yeah.
But I think, generally speaking, like I haven't looked at a lot of reactions, but I believe that a lot of fans out there, their reception's quite mixed, because I know that it was hugely hyped. Obviously, the reveal trailer was beyond epic, and anyone who sits on Twitter all day has seen, Jeff Keighley and Ed Boon going back and forth, saying, it's an epic trailer, we can't wait to release it. And so I think they really hyped it up. But I was talking to Toasty earlier, and I don't think he's quite sold on it just yet. I mean, that might change. But I know there are a few other fans out there as well that I have seen, and I wouldn't say they're disappointed, but they're just probably a little more reserved at this point in time, until maybe they need to see a bit more.
Interesting. I have not been on Twitter at all today, so it's almost a blank slate that I'm able to communicate here. I haven't heard anybody's perspectives, but I mean, as a longtime fan, I'm happy to see it, and I'm really curious to see more. It left me wanting more. So that's one thing that I'd say that the NetherRealm team did accomplish here, is they left me wanting more, which is a good thing. They gave us just enough, again, showing us combat, showing us X-rays, showing us fatalities, showing us a bit of the main players who are going to be in this. It seems like there's going to be a big focus on Raiden, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Scorpion Sub-Zero. So, and I like the focus on those classic characters. It's just, I don't know, it's nice to come back to them, to level set in this new universe with the familiar. So I do like that.
Yeah, well, I think you and I both come from a similar place in that we are fans of the original. And the one thing I mentioned in episode 48 was how much I wanted the Asian aesthetic back. And I definitely think they've nailed that. And with the simplified costumes, and also the return of some of the classic costumes in the cameos, I feel as if I kind of feel like I'm playing one of the old games, but a much better version. And I find that really exciting. And I think this game will pay a lot of homage to those classic games. So I think we're going to see a lot more in the way of classic characters. A lot of probably reimagined arenas as well. And I think this is only the beginning, so we can't expect too much, but I think there's big things coming. I think there was a missed opportunity in the fact that they didn't show off any characters that people are really yearning for. So, pretty much everyone we saw was a classic MK1 or 2 character, just like the other trailer. But it would have been nice, aside from Kenshi, of course, But
that's true, Kenshi. That's right.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen, Ashra or Havoc or someone unexpected that fans are dying for. Even just a little glimpse at the end, just to, make us jump out of our chairs in excitement.
I think they're going to slowly release this same but different sort of idea through more and more reveals that come out. So they're just kind of easing us into it, maybe setting the stage for the universe. But I can see how it would have been exciting to have somebody that was a little more unexpected. Maybe Kenshi, and then of course the way that they showed Kenshi being able to see, and which is different. It's like, is that wait? Because they don't tell you it's. I don't think they tell you it's Kenshi until you see that it's Kenshi. It's like, oh, so that was neat and unexpected.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll see. I mean, obviously, Sento is not in the cave; it's on Johnny Cage's wall. So I think we will have familiar stories, but with a twist.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, in the MK9 story, when Jax's arms were ripped off, they changed that a little bit. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting, and it won't be the same story retold, so it'll be interesting for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, that really excites me, because the technology has come a long way, but at the same time, they can't just tell the same story over and over again. MK9 went back to the beginning. This is going back, but not in the same way.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be super exciting, and yeah, I guess we should start nitpicking.
Yes,
play through
let's
a little
nitpick. Okay, Sub-Zero on the roof.
So clearly Sub-Zero, T-House, Scorpion.
Oh, yes, you have Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It looks like they're working together.
Yeah, so I think
I love this.
Yeah, that face is a little interesting. Bit of a strange place to pause it. But in the actual press release sent to me from Warner Brothers, it actually says Lin Kuei warriors and brothers, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, fight for the future of the clan. So in this timeline, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are both Lin Kuei and brothers, which is totally different.
That is way different. Yeah. I'm really curious to see how they go there, because that's completely opposite to everything that we've experienced since the early 90s. So seeing that new relationship is going to be something to behold.
Yeah, I mean, I think things like that will either excite fans or anger fans. There won't really be anybody on the fence. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, because I believe that Scorpion's Japanese and Sub-Zero's Chinese. So are they both Japanese now, or that's or when they say brothers, it may not be related brothers. Maybe it's just a term of endearment or something like that.
Yeah, maybe Scorpion traveled to train with the Lin Kuei or join the Lin Kuei. Who
possibly
who knows?
And started his own clan from there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know. Again, it's leaving us wanting more. And I'm curious to see what are the motivations for these characters now. Scorpion's motivation from the beginning was revenge against Sub-Zero for murdering his family. And I think we don't have that. That would not make sense in this new universe, from what I can tell.
Very interesting.
It's going to be interesting to uncover these new relationships and motivations.
Yeah, absolutely. I do love the tea house setting. I think that's a classic kung fu movie setup. And I do love the hat without the blade, just donks him on the back of the head.
It's so funny. I love that. And again, I'm of the camp that I love the humor in Mortal Kombat when it doesn't take itself too seriously, because in the 90s, it really didn't. I mean, it was, obviously very, very violent and cool, but there's a lot of that silly stuff. So this I really like to see.
Definitely.
And I want to know more about this Kung Lao, who will just, throw an unrazored hat.
Yeah.
And then an actual, whatever that's called, the Xena thing.
Yeah, I do like how they finished up with that. Bang. Very
Connecting
cool.
the dots there, that's great.
Yeah, I do like how he's got his frozen arms, like in, was it Deadly Alliance, I think? He had his bottom half of his arms frozen. So I do like that.
Very cool. Wonder if they'll explain that.
And I do like how the combos seem very fluid this time around and very long. So
Yes.
I really enjoy that. But
Can't wait to figure out how to execute
gorgeous.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is going to be my favorite part with the spike here. Love it.
And that is Liu Kang.
Liu Kang, yep.
Yeah.
So Liu Kang looks like he's beginning to recruit fighters. And almost looks like he's a bit of a peace man. He's stopping fights and saying, hey, use that skill for good. But the graphics are incredible. Very impressed.
So, can you pause for a second?
Yeah, sure.
So, can you go back to Scorpion and Sub-Zero behind Liu Kang? So, it looks like maybe Liu Kang recruited or came to Scorpion and Sub-Zero first?
Possibly.
Because it seems like they're coming together. They're
already
behind
with him.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're with him. That's signaling that, and they're approaching Kung Lao.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Very interesting. This part, I think, is the most interesting part of the trailer, purely because Kenshi is not blind. I wonder if he possibly steals Sento from Johnny Cage, and then he's blinded by that. But it is interesting because in the gameplay footage, I mean, his look is incredible. I love the way he looks. Very nice.
I like seeing him in a suit. Looks good in a suit.
The choice of costume is a little strange here. I wonder if it's just because of the setting, story mode.
Did you see Sub-Zero? Just like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
he cut me. That was really cool. Sorry, I get
Yeah,
excited.
so
Classic
it looks
Sub-Zero.
like, it looks like you could possibly call in cameo fighters to assist, not just with attacks, but fatal blows as well. Because the email that was sent to me, they're still called fatal blows, but they're almost like a hybrid between fatal blows and X-rays. Because you still get to see the internals when they attack. But it definitely does look like, you've got a, Sub-Zero does his bit, then Kenshi does his bit. So it looks like we're going to get very unique fatal blows where your cameo actually comes in and contributes to it, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, there has to be so many unique combinations there. I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be wild.
Oh, sorry.
No.
And then it looked like a more of a classic Kenshi look there. The spirit attack.
Yeah. I have seen a screenshot of him in this game with the blindfold. So my guess is that he's not blind here, but he becomes blind. But it's interesting that he has the power of telekinesis before Sento. Or does he gain that power? Because he is holding Sento here, so obviously he's stolen it from Cage at some point. Does something happen and, he's like, what's going on? And then suddenly he has those powers.
Or is there like some kind of communication? I don't know if this has already been answered and I don't know, I'm sorry. I don't keep track of everything. But is there some kind of communication between this universe and the other multiverse? Are they like cross communicating or so? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a multiverse, then obviously there could be multiple versions of Kenshi as well. But we'll have to wait and see. It kind of almost creates more questions than answers.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see what happens. But yeah, this arena looks amazing. There's no... I mean, Johnny Cage kicks Kenshi there, but there's no shadow kick. So I wonder if...
the flamingo.
Yeah.
Is this like is this Johnny's house in
It's gotta be
Malibu
his
or something?
penthouse or something. It has to be. It just screams Johnny, and it wouldn't surprise me if there is, in this scene at some point, if he's on the flamingo or if someone pops it and he goes, "Hey man," like.
Please let it be an interactable.
Yeah.
Please, Ed, let it be an interactable.
Little squeak when it hits. That would be epic.
Yes.
But also the detail on the floor, the blood. It's not just the texture. Like, it actually looks like it's got like chunks of body parts in it or something. Like, it actually looks really cool.
Very visceral.
I think Johnny deserves a slow-mo wind-up here. What do you think?
Absolutely.
What do you think about Johnny's face? Because to me, it doesn't really look like Johnny. Like, I know it's a younger version of Johnny, but it just doesn't seem... And that was my issue with Raiden in the trailer too. It doesn't look like Raiden.
Yeah, everybody looks different from what we've seen before. So I keep hitting my microphone. I agree that this doesn't look as much like Johnny, and I'm a little curious why they opted to not bring more Von Damme into this look, since from what I understand, he is going to be in it finally after 30 years. We're going to get some... Yeah. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that one skin that they want to... Yeah. So, or maybe it would have cost too much money to actually use his likeness for the entirety of it. But everyone does look a little different. But the faces, every single game, they look different, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, it's. I did like the way they looked in MK11, and I think I mentioned in that other episode, now that they've got the really high quality models and you get to see them so close up, it would be nice if they stuck to that. Like, if people change their look every game, it gets a bit strange for me.
Yeah, when I said it wasn't, I mean more like there's some iterations I have not been a fan of, but 11 was great.
Yeah,
but they were finally getting the face right, because ever since they've migrated from the actual capture of live actors, it's been hit or miss with the faces. So
absolutely, they're definitely going in the right direction, I think.
Yes,
but again, it looks like the way even Scorpion sort of bows down to Liu Kang, so clearly, they're following him, and Johnny has no idea who they are. So, be interesting to see. Obviously, they're fighting a bigger threat here. You have to wonder what that is. Hopefully Onaga.
Yeah, I'm curious I'm wondering if it will be a really, like, how big the threat will be. Because in the reveal trailer, we only saw Shang Tsung come out of the portal. So,
I mean, to me, he's too
behind him in this.
Yeah, he's too babyface to be the end boss, I think.
We saw Goro, so, we saw Goro in this, so we know that we have at least those villains. I'm assuming they're villains?
Yeah. It's possible. But again...
from the reveal trailer.
Yeah.
Fair to say.
So obviously here we've got classic Jax from MK2. Love the look.
Looks
I kind
great.
of hope they bring in the... because the original costume for Jax was that yellow gi that John Parrish ripped, and that's why this is Jax's costume, but it would be cool if they paid homage to that and put that original costume that never went in the game. That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
But I think what gets me is just the arenas. Like, I love the Asian aesthetic, and every arena just screams gorgeous to me. Like the amount of detail, the pagodas, even like later on we'll see it. Like just the colored trees, the cherry blossoms. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
It is. It's so ornate. They really spent a lot of time on that. Oh, it's just like multi-layered. So a lot of familiarity from this world, but just really punching it up with the level of detail and the colors. I know we had talked about we wanted more color in the game, and
this is perfect.
It looks like we'll have a mix of both.
Yep.
Oh, and then there's like the dragon in the background. It looks like, that's so cool.
Yeah. It's just
so
incredible.
Cool.
And one thing I noticed too is the Scorpion's got his spear just here, which he's just used, but he also has like this little sickle thing on his waist. And he actually uses that later in a move. Oops. So just there, see that little sickle here?
Yeah.
So if I go back, where does he use that? Looks like is that on a rope too? Yeah, that's attached to a rope as well.
Oh, okay.
What does he do with that? So it's almost like a secondary spear of sorts. So here he grabs it, throws it, hooks him, spins him around.
Oh, with fire.
Pulls him in close. That's cool.
That is.
And there was
so
also
cool.
a move where, while Liu Kang was airborne, he kind of threw like a spear and like pulled him closer, or pulled himself closer to Liu Kang. That was really cool too.
I wonder how that's going to be executed in practice in the combos. If it'll be like a cancel and then I don't know. I wonder how that's going to.
Yeah, but even the graphics, just the dragon here,
so
absolutely
cool.
gorgeous. The blue and the orange color as well. Easily one of the most gorgeous games ever. And speaking
really
of gorgeous,
the mountains in the background.
Yep. Cherry blossoms, even just these traditional monk outfits look incredible. And the Wuxi Academy has never looked better.
No.
It's an arena that I've always loved, but this takes it to a totally new level. It's incredible.
It really is. The more I look at it, the more I see there's the massive statues in the background,
I'm glad they
the
kept
bridges.
those.
So pretty.
It's incredible. And this is what I've always wanted in a Mortal Kombat game, because obviously the earlier games, they all had that Asian feel. Yeah. And that looks like the old MK1 Liz Malecki with the shoulder length hair. But Kano as well, MK1 Kano.
So cool.
Very, very cool. But yeah, the attention to detail is absolutely wild. It is interesting that Raiden has his electric powers. And Kenshi's obviously got his powers here too, which is very interesting. This next move here, I believe this is a fatality. And traditionally in games, whenever there's a finishing move, the screen would go dark. This time around, they've got for a very interesting look in which the background doesn't get darker or anything like that. It just goes black and white. And I think that really accentuates the look and makes you focus on the action. Very awesome fatality.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Melina here.
And so she's strapped down?
Yeah, strapped down. And according to the press release, where is it? So Melina, twin sister of Katana and rightful heir to Outworld's throne, has been infected by a dreaded and lethal disease. So, she used to be a clone of Katana.
Yeah.
And obviously she was fused with Takatan blood too, which is why she had the ugly mouth. And now, in the very beginning of this section here, she looks completely human.
Yeah. And that press release said she's a twin not
sister,
a clone.
Yeah.
And
so her teeth are kind of normal here, and then I believe they grow. Yeah. They get a bit nasty here.
What kind of a disease does that? Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, there's
oh,
MK3.
Yeah, Carrie Hoskins. So cool.
It's obviously out of focus a little bit, but that's got to be Carrie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've at least modelled it after Carrie.
Yeah, they kept a lot of the same look, which is she's such an amazing Sonya.
Hell yeah.
I really like their costumes. They're beautiful.
And they definitely look better than ever.
Another amazing setting.
And again, like we've never really had an Edenian setting, so my hope is that they acknowledge the lesser known realms. We might even have like a Chaos Realm arena, or the realm where Natara came from, or Reptile came from. That would be really cool. I find it quite interesting. Gora looks quite a lot darker skinned this time around as well.
Are we sure that it's Goro, or is it another Shokan? Shokan, right?
Be. I mean, if you look at the press release, it does say Goro.
Oh, okay.
In there, so it must be Goro.
Okay. Oh, it looks great. He looks really good. Again, different than MK1 but still, it's that armor is really, really cool. Very.
It's reminiscent of the. His darker look reminds me of the first Mortal Kombat movie from 1995, because he was quite dark in that one, the animatronic version. That's what that reminds me of. But no, just the moves and the way the characters move. It looks so fluid. Yeah, I mean, this time around it looks like the tea house is in the daytime too, so there may be multiple versions of arenas with day and night. This I found really interesting. The first time I watched it, it just looked like an enchanted forest, but if you actually look closely, there are faces on the trees.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling that this could be an Outworld, and it could be the living forest.
Yeah.
But maybe the trees aren't awake yet. Because they don't move.
And you mentioned the day and night, and this looks like it's during the day. And was Living Forest usually darker, like maybe at night? Is this?
Yeah, maybe during the night.
The trees are happy.
Yeah, maybe they sleep during the day.
Maybe
they're nocturnal.
They're not peaceful comparatively than like grumbling.
Yeah, because really, if you think about it, we've never really seen the living forest in anything but a dark setting.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's quite beautiful here.
And
looks
speaking
more
of beautiful,
enchanting.
Our beautiful striker is back in his classic outfit. He just looks epic, and I love the way. I think he did that in his X-ray for MK9 with the blinding with the flashlight.
Yeah, this is very MK9.
Okay, I was just checking. It looked like his taser was to the groin, but I think it's slightly above the belt.
Okay.
Because that would hurt. And again, this arena here, do you think this is an Outworld? Because I've been harping on for years and years, I want Outworld to be purple again, and it's incredibly purple. Just the way the buildings look like in the background.
Oh, is that a statue in the background? Is that
Just behind the characters?
Yeah, it's because there's so many familiar things from our world, the lanterns. But you're right, the purple sky is very Outworld.
Yeah, sort of this structure here, and also the one up on the hill, it looks very Outworld.
It does. Unless there's that, I know that sometimes Outworld and Earthrealm kind of merge. That's happened at various points in time. So maybe we'll see something like that. That's that same threat that we've dealt with before, where we get these really interesting combinations of Earthrealm with Outworld. Because I would think that this would be Outworld, but just the I mean, I guess they could have lanterns in Outworld. Maybe I'm just being silly. But
I'm wondering, an interesting theory I just came up with is, what if all the realms are at peace right now? Liu Kang's brought peace to Outworld and all of those realms. So that's why it seems like there's a celebration going on, there's fireworks. Yeah. And then maybe a dark force comes and it kind of envelops all the realms. And then the living forest gets dark and the trees come to life, and maybe Outworld becomes overrun with, Tarkatan and other disgusting creatures.
Yeah, we could see something like that, just getting to see where everything is happy and pretty under the peace of Fire God Liu Kang, and then everything goes to hell.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whoever the big bad is.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's grabbing all those warriors, because there's whatever threat there is so big, he needs all the help he can get.
Yeah. Well, at the end of MK11, it seemed like he went back in time to the era of the Great Kung Lao, and I was still hoping to see at least one chapter of that. I don't know if I'll get it, but maybe you're right. Maybe there was this era of peace that he was able to establish 500 years ago, and that lasted. And here we are. I don't know if it would be in the early 90s, if that's when the original Mortal Kombat came out, and we're under threat. So that time of peace is under attack, and this is what we get. This is the story we're seeing.
Yeah. Very interesting. Early days. So again, we see, I think this is Kung Lao and Scorpion doing a fatal blow together.
So cool.
The X-rays look incredible this time around.
Yes.
Even the detail on the bones is wild.
Oh, you're right.
And especially in 4K as well. It looks. I'm so glad that they're releasing these in 4K, because you can really get a sense of the detail.
Incredible.
Nice fatality here by Kung Lao.
Wow.
Kano with his classic heart rip. I thought this one was quite brutal.
Yeah.
Is this a nod to the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Oh.
Not the Walk of Fame. Is it the Chinese Gardens where they have the handprints of all, and the shoe prints of all the famous actors? I wonder if it's like a face print.
I know the stars in Hollywood, but I'm not familiar with the counterpart. But it said Kenshi there, and we thought that this might be Johnny's house. And you're so right about it going gray in the back and having only the color on like the immediate interaction. So that looked really cool. But yeah, it says Kenshi. It doesn't say Johnny. Like Johnny wouldn't in his house like have a bunch of Johnny everything, Johnny this, Johnny that, because of, well, he's Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's escaping me, but I have been to Hollywood, and there is a section, I think it's outside, I think it's the Dolby Theatre or something like that, and there are these squares with the handprints and footprints of like Schwarzenegger and other famous actors, and it's got their name and the date, and you can sort of stand in their footprint and that sort of thing. I wonder if this is kind of like his fatality, like a funny nod to that.
Maybe. I wonder if each character will have their plaque as they face plant with his split hole. Yeah.
Very creative.
Oh, that is brutal. It's like no face.
Yeah, I think as much as like Raiden's my favorite character of all time, but I think in many of the games his fatalities are quite lackluster. But this just looks epic. I love it.
This is really cool.
Splash.
Wow.
And that's it. That's the end of the trailer. So, yeah.
So, well, we do have.
I forgot about
we
this.
We do
one.
have Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero.
Classic Sub-Zero doing classic fatality.
This is the interesting part.
Scorpion.
Though. Yeah. So, Sub-Zero's doing the fatality, but why is Scorpion there?
He's just
because cameos kind of jump in and jump out, or they assist. Or when you finish a match, does your cameo jump in and pose with you?
That would be fun if they just like come in and pose for the camera. I don't know if it's just establishing Scorpion and Sub-Zero as being brothers here, or yeah, you're right. They could just whoever is paired up. It could be Kano and Raiden, depending. They'll just sit back after their fatality and just pose at the camera for a second as it says fatality.
In the trailer, the announcer sounds different, so I think they've changed that. And one thing that I find interesting is that, like, say, Andrew Bowen is reprising his role as Johnny Cage, but then Richard Epcar is not returning as Raiden. So why have some characters changed voices and some haven't? I find that a little odd.
It's in our blood.
It's in all our blood.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's it. I think we've, for our first impressions anyway, I think that's a pretty good breakdown of everything. Before we end off today, did you have any final thoughts?
I mean, I think that, like I said, I'm just still left with wanting more. It was very successful in that regard. I'm not disappointed. But everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course. But I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I think that they're trying to be innovative here, but I don't feel like it's forced. I think that this has the potential to strike a really strong balance. So that's it. I'm excited. I enjoyed what I saw.
Absolutely. I think for anybody who's doubting this, give it a chance and maybe watch the trailer in 4K if you can, because I think that makes a lot of difference. And yeah, like you, I'm just hungry for more. I can't wait. And the next trailer, I really want to see someone other than these classic characters. And I think we will get that. But yeah, time will tell and we'll just go from there.
Yeah. Wonder who they'll show next.
Exactly. Do you have any hopes and dreams?
Well, I think that, like I said, I want to see at least even if it's not a full chapter at the beginning, or I don't know, maybe all we get is that last nod in MK11. I do want to see what has happened in between in that 500-year period. So whether that be, I mean, I don't know if it would be like chapter 1 or if it's in flashbacks. I don't know. Or maybe they'll just describe what happened. I don't know. We'll probably get some idea, but I kind of want to see that fateful Mortal Kombat tournament 500 years ago, where this time the great Kung Lao did succeed. Maybe. I don't know. I'm assuming, based upon this, if there is this time of prosperity, I hope that we get a little more than just passing stories. So
yeah, and I
what about
want to
you?
reiterate my my thoughts around the potential for choice. I think in story mode, I think just based on Liu Kang's narration in the first trailer, I still feel like you will be given choices, and that will maybe affect the trajectory of the story. And again, we might end up with a few different endings, but I think that'll increase replayability. And I think the 3D era is what a lot of fans are yearning for, because a lot of those characters haven't been around since Armageddon. And to many, they will feel like new characters, especially if they redesign them and whatever. So I really hope that in the next trailer, we get to see at least one 3D era character returning, not as a cameo, but as a fully fledged playable character. Beyond that, I think it's one of those trailers we need a few days to let everything sink in, and we might notice some additional things. But so far, it's hugely impressed me, especially the arenas. Gorgeous. My hat's off to everybody at NetherRealm. This
Absolutely.
is going to be a masterpiece. So
it sure will be. I do have one more wish list item. I want the pink flamingo to be an interactable. I really want that to happen, and maybe it will. So
yeah,
fingers crossed.
When I watched the trailer, I tried to look for little gleams of light across any items to see if it was interactable. But obviously, even if it is, they probably turn that off. So
yeah,
that'll be up in the air. But yes, pink flamingo. We'll push that pretty to the top of the list, I think. Top of the list.
Yeah. Top 3 for me. So, okay.
That's it.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us for this amazing discussion.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. And thank you to everyone who's watching. Again, if you can, please share with us your thoughts. We'd love to go through those. And as always, have fun, stay safe, and stay flawless.